Hello, now we come to the removal of the bobbin case. I'll just take the bobbin out. Oops. There we go. These fox everybody, including myself, when I first started, and they are a fiddle. But you've got to learn how to actually remove the retaining clip from the rotary hook. This is why this little screwdriver has been provided by Singer. Real dinky little screwdriver, and I only use it for this job, because screwdrivers, believe it or not, are a precision instrument that you use. And I saw something the other day that just made my flesh crawl, and I will talk about that when we actually get down there. You need a 2.4 jeweller's screwdriver if you don't have this one, and this does just as well. Now I've asked you to give this a good soaking with kerosene, and I've asked you to oil it as well, and just let it rest. And the reason for that is that you've got two plates. You've got the body of the rotary hook, and you've got the retaining clip for the bobbin case. And these two are highly polished bits of steel, beautifully made. Now I talk about the beating heart of the machine being the gears, which it is. That's the beating heart, but the jewel in the crown is this bit, and I know roughly how they've been made, and the machining that would have been taken to do this. But they are a beautiful bit of machinery, and for the time they were top notch, and still are in my view. What I'm seeing on YouTube just does my head in, really, but that's a different story, and I'll come to that in a moment, what I've actually seen. Now you will see in here you have your hook, and I think you can just see it there, and I'll just try and bring this in a little bit more. Everything in here is quite sensitive to damage, but the thing you really have to be careful of is your hook, which is there. And I know on one site, 3 ladies tried to remove the rotary hook and broke their hooks. And I'll explain that later. But for this one of actually removing the bobbin case, you rotate the machine, and you can see the hook slowly disappearing underneath there, which is brilliant because it's now fully protected. I'll just bring it back a little bit. There you go. Because your throat plate protects it. I don't know how much pressure they will take, but I wouldn't even go there to see how easy they are to break, but they do break. And if you do that, then you need a new rotary hook. So saying that, that's now protected. I've turned the whole unit, so I can then put this screwdriver there's 2 springs on each side, okay, and what you're doing is pushing 1 spring back, and I do it slightly differently from the book, and if I pop that in there, that should stay there, and there's a little square box, rectangular box, that screwdriver then fits in. Now, if everything is okay with the actual retaining clip, that it's not corroded onto the thing or gummed up, and that's why I said give it plenty of time, plenty of washing with kerosene to actually break that surface so they will spin, is that if that is the case and it's in good condition and everything like that, that when you turn this anti-clockwise, the spring is forced back. You will then see another area just there. I don't know if you can see it. It's never any good, really. It's very, very tight. Of a flat coming up, like a ledge almost, and I then rotate again. Whoops. Rotate again and put my screwdriver in there, and what will happen is, on a good day, as I come back, the retaining clip flips up. Now, that's not how the book says you should do it, but I am happy with that, and I've done this many times, and it does not damage anything. If anything, it creates less damage because you then don't have to start fiddling. You then push that back, and the other clip is starting to give up on the pointy bit, if you like, of the actual retaining clip, and as I push back there, that then comes free. Oh, will do. And I can lift out the entire bobbin case and the clip together. Okay, they just come away. Now, I'll just pop this back in again. It will go in. Like so. So you have your 2 clips, one there and one there. On your actual retaining clip, wherever you are, you have 2 ramps, if you like. You have one there and you have one there, and the clips ride up on these ramps until they eventually come over, and then they self-locate. Well, particularly this one self-locates in the little wedges there and there. Okay, I'll just come in a bit more central. So you've got the 2 wedges where that clip will then clip back in. The other one just rides, I'll just come back a bit, there you go, rides the ramp, comes up and stays in this area, and what you're doing is you're pushing that flat back in, that flat piece of metal on top of the rotary hook back in. Okay, so this just slides, and this is why it's important that this is oiled but not allowed to dry out. So you've got a stationary bit of metal with a rotating part of the clip, which then forces that down and holds it in place. And on here, and if I turn it upside down, you've got the top race, where your clip is actually part of the top race, and this has to be looked after carefully at all times. Okay, so that allows the hook to spin round the bobbin case at high speed. Yeah. So when that's in position, I'll just show you. You can get that in. Is that allows that to go extremely fast, but it is held in place, the case, so it doesn't ride out if the you know, the threads catch up, something like that, or pull it up. It's held in place by this retaining clip, and the clip is held in place by two springs on each side. There are lots of videos about this, and you can get whatever you off that. You know, you can see loads of them. They're 10 a penny. So I'm not going to dwell too long on this one, because there are plenty out there. To put it back, you are going for that curve there, so your spring sits in there prior to the actual ramp there, so the spring will then rise up, go over, and then click into that little part there, and that's where your screwdriver goes in initially, right at the beginning. And what I do is I rotate it out and give the spring an extra little push back to allow that just to flick up. That's how I do it. I've been doing it for years and I've never had a problem with it, so I'm happy with that. And I'll just move that back in again. Now I'm going to pop this back in, and the practice makes perfect with these. You know, it's so difficult at the moment for me to show you this, but I do this in seconds, and once you get to know what you're doing with them, it's easy. Now what's said is that you then push at the, and this is a nightmare to actually show, is that you push this, whoops, you start to push this across, and the spring starts to go up. And can you see there? It's riding the ramp, and it's riding the ramp on the other side. You go along and you push a bit more, and it's slowly travelling up over the ramp. And what they say is you then push it at the back with the heel of that into there. I personally don't do that, and I don't use the screwdriver for that reason, is that there's the race there, and I'll just gently bring that round. You've got the race, your top race here. If you use a screwdriver and you get it wrong and you damage that race, you're damaging the machine. Your actual can actually just push, using your finger, you just push that back. Now that spring has flicked in, and I've done nothing to, you know, I haven't overused that screwdriver to actually use that. Now just to check it, so it's gone up on there, the spring is recessed back on the far side and on the near side, and that's gone into its little recess, so that is nice and smooth now, and everything is located back in. This actually had corrosion on last week, and this was the machine that was very, very badly corroded. Once you get a bit of corrosion in, it comes back fairly regularly. Even in a warm house, it does affect it. But I've ground the corrosion off, and this clip is now, the retaining clip is a lot better. Now I'm going to talk to you about a video I saw, and the guy shows all this, you know, absolutely wonderful. You know, you flick this back. Now the book says that you only take it back so far and then you push back, and but I don't like it at all. As you can see, I'll just push this back. Right, overshot it a bit. Right, I'll just bring this out and I'll just show you what happened. Fiddle, fiddle, fiddle. Okay. I'll bring that out now. So he brought all this out, and because it was dirty, he then took his screwdriver and started chiseling all the gunk and the dirt on the underneath of this, scraping out the innards of this with a metal screwdriver, and started cleaning this with a screwdriver. Boiling blood doesn't really put it into the right words. These are high precision parts, you know, and tolerances that are very, very tight, and the screwdriver itself is a precision tool. And if you use a screwdriver, first of all, you are damaging your screwdriver to the point of it won't be a screwdriver anymore. It starts to become a scraper. And if you lever on a screwdriver and you bend it, you then it becomes a you know, it's not a screwdriver anymore. Now, when I saw this guy actually scraping all the dirt off these, I thought, this guy just does not have a clue what he's doing. And part of these videos, and I said that right at the beginning, was that how disgusted I was on the actual videos that are on YouTube of people that just haven't a clue what they're doing, and this was one of them. And you know, he was also scraping out on the rotary hook, and he was scraping out the race. Now, if these get scratched or damaged or dinted or a raised piece of metal because you've been scraping away there, it's going to be to the detriment of the actual machine, because you're encouraging wear, you're encouraging damage, and you are encouraging that machine to slowly tear itself apart. And you know, these parts now are 90 years old, and you know, some of them are still in pristine condition, and I want that to continue. And just for the sake of doing it correctly, and I'll show you what you do, and it's just so simple. You get your coffee stirring stick, and you know, you get from coffee shops, things like that, and you cut a shape. So I've now got a sort of chisel shape cut on there, which then allows me to clean out the race on this beautifully built, beautifully designed and built piece of equipment. You know, part of the machine. I can clean out both sides. This is corrosion, by the way, or the dark. It should be shiny, but because I'm using this machine, it's dark, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I can clean out all these little areas without not using a pin even to clean it. Now, okay, I've got a sharp one. Oh, but it's a bit round in there. I just cut a round piece. And then that will allow me to scoop out all the rubbish and all the dirt that's built up over the years. And this won't scratch. It's wood. That's a precision tool that you undo screws and the like. That is a dumb piece of wood that will clean, scrape, do whatever you want, but will not damage your part of your machine. And this is the whole problem, that you know, monkey see, monkey do again, you know. So that's my little bit of a rant there. They're beautifully made, and you know, look after them. And then what can you do after that is you get a piece of gauze and you give it a clean, and make sure everything's okay. And you can actually use a bit of metal polish, only just a tiny little bit, just to give it, you know, a satisfying clean up, and that will remove, you know, the in-ground dirt, if you like. And the other thing you can use is a toothbrush, bit of kerosene, give that a scrub, and it will come up fine, and along with your piece of wood, and you can scrape away as many times as you like, and it won't damage your hook, your bobbin case. Now the bobbin case has to be located properly, and I'll show you how that's done on the next video. But what you can do is, if you pop that in and gently turn, if that stays stationary, you've got it correct. Rock it backwards and forwards, it's in correctly. There's a little sort of recess in the bridge, which I'll show you when we go down to remove the rotary hook. But because I'm just showing you the easy bit, then if you've got it wrong and you've put that, let's say, there, and that hook goes in, that hook there goes into the recess, if you put that incorrectly, the whole lot turns, so you know you've got that wrong. Okay, and you have to be a bit careful with that. So that hook there goes straight forward, wiggle it around a bit, that goes in, gently turn, that's fine. So that now is ready for, whoops, for the retaining clip. Turn it round again so your hook goes in there, and bring it to about 90 degrees. You drop this in, so your big curve there goes next to your spring, and then that allows the two plates to go join back down again. Swing it round slightly, and I just use my fingers, actually, making sure that it's starting on the ramp, and as you can see there, good job I checked, is, and I'll just use, that has missed a ramp, so that will raise up. Okay, I have to go back again, make sure that that spring there is going to go up the pointed part of the ramp, and the ramp there, and they've both engaged on that ramp. If they don't, they're going to go underneath it and then force it up, and then you're going to do damage to the machine if you suddenly then started it up. So I just push from the back there on my finger, because I don't want to use a metal tool, because one, it's a screwdriver, even though they do advise it, that there's that race just there. I don't want to damage that, I don't want to scratch that. I just gently push, and you should hear a click there, and that's clipped back in, and both springs are now located properly, pushed in. Okay, that's how I do it, and it's safe, and I've checked it, and it's all right. So just to go back, you put your screwdriver in, turn it anti-clockwise, oops, catch the secondary part there, and as it's turn that out, it just gently flicks up. Then you can just push that anti-clockwise with your thumbnail, and that comes up. And once you've cracked that, you're part of the 201 club. I tell you, it's the only thing that people really get stuck on and find a fiddle, but once they get it and understand it, it is relatively straightforward. Once you know what's going on. So put that back in, both springs are on the ramp, turn it round and push. There you go, no trauma, and that's ready to rock. Drop your bobbin in, and wrong way around. Flick it round, you're away. Okay, next video will be removing the rotary hook. Okay, bye now.